Hey everyone, this is Chris, and you're listening to One Cross Radio, and today you're joined by my friend and yours, Mike Naulls. Mike, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing all right. It's good to have you back on. Last time I had you here, we were with Christian and Tommy, and the conversation went all over the place.
Oh yeah, but it's good to be back on the radio. Or whatever this is, the internet sound.
The internet's radio. It's on iTunes.
A podcast? I think it's called a podcast.
And this is what happens. We just
whatever it is, whatever medium this is, it's good to be back on it.
It's a podcast. Come on. So yeah, today we're gonna talk about Batman. We're gonna talk about Batman. Batman, you say?
Batman, you say?
Coming for you! Ooh.
Yes.
That movie's terrible.
It does have a thumbs up at a very excellent time.
It also has, like, the best extra ever. He's like, Batman! Yeah!
Yeah. Like, that's the same guy that was rescued from the acid in the beginning of the movie.
I thought so too, but Screen Junkies did this like extra to stand out video, and then he looked different, but he sounded similar enough.
They just put glasses on him or something. Oh, he's a different guy. He's got glasses.
It's the whole Superman thing, except
Superman. Yeah.
Except, no. Most of the time I defend Superman with that, but in this case, we'll roll with it. So you and I, we bonded over Star Wars and a mutual love of Batman.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite Batman movie, sir?
That's, I feel like I had an easy answer for that. I'm going to say Returns. Returns. Yeah. Because looking at it from a Batman perspective, maybe it's not the best Batman movie, but I love it anyway.
Yeah,
That's the first one I saw in the theaters.
Wow, you saw that in theaters?
Yeah, man. I went with my cousin and my sister and some guy. And my aunt may have been there.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, back in the winter of 1992. I guess it
wow.
was, yeah.
Like I love Batman Returns. It's not like, it's not a Batman movie, but it's a great movie with Batman. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Which can be said about the Nolan movies. They're great movies featuring Batman.
I'll put an asterisk on that. Like, Batman Begins. Like that's the one that's.
Batman Begins was a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is like the live action Batman movie. I don't think anything's topped it yet. No.
That was the one where I sat in the theater and was like, yes, they are Batmaning this correctly. They're doing. Sorry, I was just distracted. Christian texted me. It popped up on my computer. But that was the one. I remember sitting in the theater when they did the scene where the bat flies into Wayne Manor, and I was like, that's
yeah.
it. That's how it's done.
Yeah. And then that tremendous shot of him jumping down in Arkham, like after back up, and then
Back up.
What's that? Bats flying through the.
Oh, man.
Oh.
One of those lines. It's one of the many lines that I use in everyday life. Back up. Like when I'm in my car and I need to get out of the parking space. What do I gotta do? Back up.
I remember seeing that with you, and then like we annoyed the crap out of everyone because we were just quoting it nonstop.
It's the most quotable, like misappropriated quotable movie ever.
And then Dark Knight is tremendous. It is a great film, but
it's a great movie. Oh yeah.
But I think we talked about it the last time we were on the podcast together. Like, it was a solid Batman movie up until the point he's like, oh, hey, he could be me. Like, he...
Oh, you mean...
Yeah, with Harvey. No, in Dark Knight, where he looks over at Harvey Dent, and he's like, Harvey Dent could become Batman, and I'll just peace out and get married.
Oh, Harvey Dent.
Get me twisted.
Someone left some evidence.
I found something.
Found something. What if he just pops up like he's been caught doing something? Found something. Someone left some evidence. I'll analyze it.
With science.
I was really hoping they would do another one of those skits after Batman vs. Superman came out, but it never happened.
Wow, I'm surprised.
But I think Pete Holmes, the guy who plays Batman, he's very busy. He's got his own show now. And,
right.
He just doesn't have time for that.
So,
it's a shame. It was the funniest.
Just because you brought up Batman vs. Superman, you and I had similar feelings. What did you think about Justice League? Especially,
Justice League was okay. After seeing it, I'm like, okay, because I hadn't seen any trailers, previews, commercials, anything. Like I'm doing that with a lot of movies now, where I'm totally cold open or cold viewing, whatever. So I saw Justice League, and I was like, it wasn't bad. It was like a 7. It was enjoyable, but then very quickly it started to erode, decay in my mind. It's like, you know what? That was pretty bad, and so was that, and overall the movie was a total mess.
Yeah.
It was, and yeah, like, I don't remember a lot of it. I remember some cool things with The Flash that I really liked. I can't tell you what specifically those things were, but I remember, like, okay, cool, they're doing that. Like, the race at the end between
Flash and Superman.
Like, oh, they're going to do it.
Yeah. I did love as he was running up behind Superman, and Superman slowly turns, and then Flash gets this really oh crap look on his face.
Yeah, that was good. Or like, like when Superman, like, doesn't he grab someone by the throat? Grabs Batman by the throat?
I think so.
Anyway, that look on Flash's face when he realizes he can see me. He's following my movements.
Yeah. That was like I wanted to like it more than I did, and I did kind of enjoy it. Like it got me excited for Aquaman. I didn't like everything they did with him, but there was the one scene where he had the lasso of truth where they're playing it for comedy and it's funny, but I'm like, that's the heart of the character. He's confessing, like, on this fish out of water, literally, but I'm also unwanted amongst my people. I'm like, that's the character that I want, so I love that they're doing that. And it left enough where you're like, hey, you know what? I'm more interested in his movie now than I was before.
Yeah, Aquaman was cool. I still don't know how I feel about Jason Momoa playing him. I don't know what it is. I don't know. He's too rock and roll. He's a rock and roll Aquaman, you know? I guess you gotta be modern in some respect, right?
It reminds me of like the 90s Aquaman, or the Aquaman who showed up in the Amazing Justice League cartoon, who was like very long-haired, beard, piratey. Like at one point had a hook for a hand. Yeah. I'm a monster.
Bring me Peter Pan.
But then in Superman they nailed. That was like the best they've done with Superman in that franchise.
Superman,
yeah.
And what was I gonna say now? I forget. Oh, the mustache. Everyone's talking about the super mustache, right?
I wanted it so badly, though.
I'd heard some things that they had CG'd out the mustache.
Yeah.
And honestly, I couldn't spot it. I have an eye for these things, but I couldn't spot it. I had to ask my buddy at work, like, where was the CG mustache? He said, oh, the opening shot, that's the cell phone video.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. But it didn't stand out like people said it.
That was the only scene that it really, really stood out to me. Because it's like, he's got an especially big space between his nose and the bottom of his lip. Like,
yeah, he had a fat lip.
Yeah, but then I wish they kept it in. Or there's a joking internet petition for like the Justice League Superman mustache cut. I'm like, I'm in. Do it. Just do it.
For that.
It'd be amazing. Cavill looks like he'd have a sick mustache.
It'd be great because of just the way they had to do pickups and reshoots and all that. Like in one scene, Superman has no mustache, and the next one he suddenly has a mustache, and then the next one the mustache is gone. And they should have done like cut together some reaction shots of people looking very confused.
Yeah.
They just kind of wave out of their face. And no mustache.
Yeah. Well, like, apparently with Paramount, though, he's doing a movie with them. I don't know if it's Mission Impossible or whatever.
Mission Impossible 25 or whatever number it is. 7?
It's still going, yeah. 6 or 7 or 12. Where they were like, we'll foot the bill to digitally put the mustache on him.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, screw you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is like, wow, that sucks. But
I read I think it was a Reddit post from someone who either worked in that CGI department or knew someone on the Justice League CGI team, and they told that story how they offered to pay to put the mustache on, and they're like, yeah, it's infinitely easier to put a mustache on than to take it off.
Yeah. Well, and I can imagine how. I mean, how much with CG do they add stuff to hair where you're like, hold up, that wasn't a wig, that was somewhat CG, and then you could easily picture it. I mean, I would have loved it if some point though, if they go like old school Star Trek route where it's almost like a felt beard.
Oh, that would have been awesome. And you know he's the bad guy because he has a beard.
He's got a goatee. But then the biggest thing that bothered me with Justice League was Batman, because these writers don't know how to get him. Pardon?
He had kind of given up. He was joking too much, and he seemed like he just didn't care.
Well,
supposedly that was part of the character. Oh, he felt like he had done something wrong and didn't deserve to live anymore after what happened with Superman. Like, didn't come across that way to me. He just seemed like he didn't care.
Well, yeah, he's going around. Like, the more these movies happen, the more I'm like, do you guys know the character that you're writing? Just in terms of, I get it that Batman Superman was heavily Frank Miller inspired, but mainstream Batman doesn't kill, and then they're taking that away, but now he's jokey, he's Iron Bat, like
Iron Bat.
Like he's just going around being like, by the by, I'm Batman. Like, hey, Aquaman, in front of a bunch of people, I'm Batman. Or going to, I almost said Wally West, because that Flash just reminds me so much of Wally. Yeah.
Yeah. He's more Wally than Barry Allen.
Exactly. I'm like, why did we go with Barry? Just give me Wally. Just give me Wally. And then he's going to him as Bruce Wayne, which, why? It makes no sense. Exactly. And when just you know...
Batman in there. Come through the window, but whatever.
Or just be there when...
Put a hole in Barry's ceiling. Just smashes through. I'm here.
Oh, man.
Batman, he just says his name as he lands. Batman, you just put a hole in my ceiling.
I'm Batman. Oh, man. The Lego Batman guys would have a field day with that. Have you seen that one?
I saw like the opening scene, but I didn't care for it, so I turned it off.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Okay, fair enough. I'll disagree, but I can't sway you. Nope.
No.
No.
I'll never join you.
And but a couple weeks ago, like what kind of spurred me on wanting to talk to you about this was a couple weeks ago, Jill and I were watching movies. We rang in New Year's and she's like, I haven't seen Batman Returns in forever, which I was laughing. I was laughing at. It was unintentional on her part. And then she's like, do you want to watch it? I'm like, heck yes, I want to watch this movie. Because it's so twisted. What was that?
I said, buckle up, wife.
Oh, God.
Get ready for this.
Like, and I remember you and I watching it together, and both of us just being like, how did this happen? How did, Like,
yeah, like I said, I had seen it when it first came out, but
yeah.
I didn't I was young and I didn't pick up on a lot of the things. And having watched it like 20 years later, like, oh, I get it. Like, there's so many things in that movie that are like innuendo,
yeah,
or just really messed up.
Well, like the first 10 minutes alone, it's just like, did nobody at Warner Brothers watch the dailies or watch the cut of the movie before they released it?
Yeah, that's like what it's almost like they let Tim Burton shoot what he wanted, which I understand that happens. Like he made Warner Brothers like $800 million $1989,
which probably works out to be like $1 bajillion.
$1 bajillion actual number. Yeah, so they're like, cool, man. We're just gonna sit in our hot tubs full of money, make whatever you want. And he's like, haha, Tim Burton. And then he just went off and did that. And like, he probably came back with the footage, just so they were checking up on him to see what was going on, and they saw, they're like, what has he done? But we can't turn back now. Just like kind of with Justice League, when they had they shot so much in the movie, like, well, this sucks, but what are we gonna do? We can't just not release it.
You could pull a solo and not release anything when you're 4 months out from release.
Yeah, something's going on with that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been interested in that movie. I don't know.
I'm gonna see it because I like the character, but it's the out of all the anthology ones you could have done, this is the one I'm like, I've got the least interest in. Like,
why would you choose a Han Solo origin story of all the options there?
And Harrison Ford nailed it. And the original uncut, his character goes on a great journey, like his pre-special edition journey. Like, I'm good. And then now, where it's like, how did you not attach the trailer to friggin' The Last Jedi?
Yeah. Well, I think they were still shooting some things at that point. I don't know.
Still, you gotta have...
I think what Disney was waiting, they didn't want to, I don't know if the word would be like cross-hype. Like, they're trying to promote Last Jedi. They don't want any kind of split in hype to go to the hype to split off to Solo. So they waited till Last Jedi had kind of done its thing and then release some Solo ads, promotion. But it's still, it hasn't happened yet.
But, and with that though, I'd just be like, but Marvel, like, people a couple blocks over from you at the same studio do this all the time. When you saw Avengers Age of Ultron, there was an Ant-Man trailer attached to it. Be like, hey, check this one out in like 3 months. Yeah.
So, and it's the same parent company. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't get it. And where I've seen some people online be like, well, it's Star Wars, it's going to make a lot of money. But if there's nothing out this close to it, that tells me, like, that can infer that there's something to be worried about.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. It's like either you're not releasing anything and you pull a G.I. Joe 2 where 2 weeks out from release it'll be like, hey, it's coming out next year instead. Or that just happened with New Mutants too, I think.
Yeah, they moved it over.
Yeah.
But that doesn't look very good at all.
I'm intrigued by it, but it's not like being, oh, I need to go see this. Whereas Black Panther, the more I see, the more I'm like, gimme.
Yeah, I've wanted a Black Panther movie for a long time because he's such a cool character.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him on the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon show, which was a great show. I don't know if you ever watched it. It was a great show. But yeah, he was so cool on that. Like, give us the movie. And then, he's finally getting one. I haven't seen any... I saw the first trailer once, so I really don't know what's going on. He's in Wakanda, and Apollo Creed's son is the bad guy. Johnny Storm is the bad guy.
Johnny Storm... Oh, man.
Michael B. Jordan. I know his name.
I would just... If they could somehow make it so where you've got Cap and like Chris Evans and him at the same time.
They look at each other and nod or something.
Like, and it's your way to introduce the Fantastic Four. It's like, there's Johnny Storm, and they both just look at each other. But that'd be almost a Deadpool humor. Back to Batman. Batman Returns is just, I don't know what it is. I love dark twists on Christmas stories, and Batman lends himself to it. But that movie's so messed up. Like,
It's really messed up, yeah.
The first 10 minutes alone, just a baby is born and everybody's screaming in terror. And then the kid pulls a cat into the cage, and it's insinuated that he's murdering a pet. And then a horrified-looking Pee Wee Herman and his wife dump a child into a sewer, and then there's a long tracking shot.
But before they dump him into the sewer, they get drunk.
Yeah.
They see him pull the cat in, or maybe it was before he pulls the cat in. They have these, they down their drinks real quick. Even that first, if you were to just cut off that opening Penguin origin story, let's call it, and make it a short film, it'd be fantastic. Fantastically demented.
Yeah.
But it's in a Batman movie. It's weird.
Which, it's so funny, because then Warner Brothers being like, yeah, sure, McDonald's attached a toy campaign to this. Like, if anybody watched the movie, at some point they would have been like, no, we're not going to be, this is not a toy commercial movie.
Yeah.
We'll make the next one that.
Yeah. We'll put in some bright colors.
A bunch of neon.
Yeah, like, even beyond that scene, like, there's just, you have this scary-looking penguin man who lives in the sewer.
Eats raw fish.
To murder everyone's children.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna kill all your firstborn.
Yeah.
And then...
So he's eating raw fish, and he bites a man's nose with blood squirts
Exactly.
out. What else is
Michelle Pfeiffer gets thrown out, and her corpse is chewed on by alley cats.
Yeah. And Max Schreck's electrocuted burned skeleton at the end.
Oh my god. And then Penguin coming out of the water with like black and green like
vomiting
goo.
Sludge.
Yeah, you're like, is that his blood?
Yeah, I still don't know.
Yeah. And then but it's so good. And then that's back when like Christopher Walken was like so good in that, and that's before it was like Christopher Walken, the caricature of Christopher Walken.
Caricature, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Back at what, like that was like around the time Sam Jackson was still an actor and not a character yet.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Hold on to your butts. Which, just to get sidetracked, have you seen the Jurassic Park Funko Pops?
Yeah, there's a Goldblum.
There's a shirtless Goldblum.
Shirtless Goldblum. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm like, I gotta track that one down.
Like, I don't know what I would do with that. It would just sit in the corner. It'd be a waste of money and space. So I can't.
Whereas me, I'd be like, I gotta feature it on one of these.
Yeah, you've got a shelf behind you.
Yep.
As Funkos.
Oh, so many Funkos and so many more to get. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, Christopher Walken was so good in that, and then his son, whoever that actor was doing like a pretty good Walken impression. That wasn't even like trying to make fun. It was just similar.
He was just playing the character, playing the son.
Yeah, I was like, that was a nice touch. It was a good touch.
Yeah, I never even thought of it until now.
Yeah,
he does the accent. Yeah,
it's what I didn't notice it till I was watching. I was like, hold up. That's a good touch. And it's not bad of an impression.
He's doing a Walken without doing an impression.
Yeah.
It's a Walken homage.
Yeah. And then we also watched the first Batman from '89, which it's good. It's not
It's pretty messed up on its own, but not as messed up.
No, yeah, it's... Oh, excuse me. It's messed up in a different way.
Yeah. it's I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of it's darker in a way, but not
morbid dark.
It's I don't know. Yeah, it's I don't know how to describe. It's kind of disturbing in a way. Like it is. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it affected me as a young man seeing it as a child. Like I watched that movie. Like I don't know how old I was when I first saw it, but I couldn't have been older than 4.
Oh my gosh.
Really, I couldn't have been because it came out in '89, where I would have been 2.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think, because I remember I got the video cassette, and I still lived in my family's old house, which we moved out of in '92. I'm going to say I got the tape. I was probably 3 or 4.
Back in the VHS days.
Back when we got, when I first saw Batman. I don't know if my parents had seen the movie before. They just knew I liked Batman.
Yeah.
So, and they heard it was a big hit. I don't know. I can't explain their reaction.
Yeah. It's, like, as I was watching through, it's, like, I loved Michael Keaton's performance, and I forgot how much I enjoyed it. I just don't like that direction for Bruce Wayne, where it's, like, the isolated, almost manic guy where...
the Darko Michael Keaton?
Yeah, the Darko Michael Keaton. You want to go nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. Where it's just like, that is the scariest Batman, is Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne is more intimidating than his Batman. Just because his Bruce Wayne, you could believe, would kill someone. Just...
Yeah, without even thinking twice. He would strangle a man for nothing.
Yes, because you're like, he's messed up. He's on a date and they're at opposite ends of this huge table. Why is he doing this? And then...
for some reason, he just decides to get up in the middle of the night and hang upside down.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he not think that she would wake up?
Yeah.
Say, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly. And then...
Why didn't he get upside down?
I also still love how Alfred just, like, completely let Vicky Vale into the Batcave.
Yeah.
Outed that he was Batman. Like, Alfred would have been fired in 2 seconds.
That would have been the greatest deleted scene. Michael Keaton, he's sitting at the back, or Bruce Wayne, he's sitting at the back computer. Hey, Alfred, come here for a second. Yeah, you're fired. Just pushes him away, like face palms him away. You're fired.
Yeah.
I know we bring up in Batman Returns, though. Like,
they did. Who let Vicky Vale into the Batcave, Alfred?
I was sitting there like, hey, Vic, come on in.
I'm blindsided. I got no idea what to do.
Yeah, he plays it off like he's kind of laughing about it now, but
yeah.
he's got some bitterness about it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Oh, man. And then I watched... afterwards, Jill couldn't get through it, and I barely could. I watched Batman Forever, and
it's not that bad.
Oh, it's hard to get through, man. Like, if I look at it with nostalgia, or if when I'm like, man, that amazing "Kiss from a Rose" song is coming, like, if I'm thinking like that, then it's like, yeah, this isn't so bad. Or if I'm comparing it to what's to come, because somehow Batman and Robin is so much worse, but and it's got stuff I like. The Batplane, like the neon is stupid, but I loved the Batmobile and the Batplane. Like the gadgets looked awesome.
In Forever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the Batmobile. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like some, I don't know how to describe edginess to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Ah, fair enough. Like as I'm just watching through it, especially when we had also just recently watched The Fugitive, so I'm like, Tommy, that
I didn't kill him. I don't care.
But just like, man, Tommy Lee Jones, why are you trying to out Jim Carrey? And It's just when you see when the talent of everybody involved, and you're like, how did we end up here? When with what could have been, like, I've heard.
I think it was just a paycheck for Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Well, I think he even said on commentary or something like, "Oh, my kid wanted me. Kid loves Two-Face and loves Batman, so I did it." And apparently, he hated Jim Carrey, and he told him like, "I cannot stand for your buffoonery, or I cannot condone this." Or
he just didn't like him.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that documentary, Andy and Me, I think it's called, on Netflix?
I think
Carrey talking about his Man on the Moon
I saw about...
experience?
I got started it, but I couldn't finish it. I had to go to work, and I never picked it back up.
That's enjoyable. Jim Carrey, just kind of like, he's really stripped off the layers of being a clown. And he's just like, he's very zen now.
Huh.
It's very, I think a lot of people wouldn't... like it because they're expecting Jim Carrey that we see going, all righty then, and all that.
Yeah.
Right? But no, he's like, he talks about at the end of the documentary about how he's like, he was playing a part even in real life.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do that anymore.
Well, like, I like Jim Carrey as an actor. Like, sure, I love his over-the-top mannerisms and his alrighty then and like a glove and just all that. But he's a good actor as well.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm just like, I miss that Jim Carrey. It's almost like I miss Johnny Depp when Johnny Depp shows up to actually act.
Yeah.
Instead of just playing Johnny Depp, insert weird character here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Johnny Depp. He's gotta just like, I don't know. Start doing movies again. Start playing roles again.
Yeah. Where, as we were, like I mentioned, as we were watching Harry Potter, like Helen Botham Carter shows up, Mrs. Tim Burton or ex-Miss Tim Burton, and I'm just like, she's the female Johnny Depp. Where it's just like, she's a great actress, but I can't think of the last time I saw her act. And I don't mean that as harshly as it sounds, but where it's just, oh, we've got a weird role for a woman. Oh, let's get her.
Yeah.
Because she does characters great. But then, Johnny Depp used to be a tremendous actor. And heck, even the first Pirates movie, he was acting. And now at this point, it's just like a caricature of his performance.
Yeah. Yeah, now everything is kind of like, be like Captain Jack.
Yeah.
Do Captain Jack.
Yeah, and it's like, I did.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I know he still is.
Yeah.
In there somewhere. Right?
Yeah. Well, like, I haven't seen it, but I heard how he showed up in Kevin Smith's movie Tusk, and I'm just like, that interests me, because that's not a combo you'd think, and you can hear a whole story about it through one of Smith's many podcasts, but then he was saying how he's like, no one offers me these roles anymore, like these little small ones or anything like that. And it sounds like he was just having an absolute blast, but also like getting into the character where I'm like, I miss that Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Who at one point everybody was like...
I was doing Keith Richards. That was our joke a while ago.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think it was his first cameo in Pirates, 3?
Yeah, something like that.
Where he's just like, he's totally passed out, he's drunk, he's still there.
Johnny Depp.
Like, and then they just wake him up, oh, Johnny Depp.
I saw the fifth one with my father-in-law, and it wasn't so bad, but it wasn't that bad. But at the same point, I'm like, man, if you're gonna be here still at 5 movies, like you gotta have something. At least Fast and the Furious is ridiculous enough for me, and keeps getting more ridiculous that it's.
Yeah.
And it's got The Rock, so if you get The Rock as a pirate, then I'm in.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I would see that one.
Did you see Jumanji? It was pretty good.
No. I'm finding fewer and fewer movies now appeal to me. I just don't care anymore. But then, like, I have a movies I've taped off the TV, like movie network or whatever. I don't get around to watching them.
Yeah.
It's rough. Yeah, there's so few movies.
Yeah.
I used to see a movie a week.
I remember. Well, heck, when we were teens, we'd go several times.
A day? Several times what? What is the period of time?
Several times a week. I think at least once we saw 2 movies in one day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see the same movie several times.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, we saw Attack of the Clones more than once.
Yeah, I saw that like 4 times.
Yeah. The thing I'll always remember from that, though, is we're like, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars! And this one little kid like, Spider-Man!
Spider-Man! Yeah, that wasn't even in front of Attack of the Clones, though. That was the trailer for Attack of the Clones. We were at Spider-Man. We were watching Spider-Man.
Right!
And the trailer for Attack of the Clones came on, and we were like, "Oh, cool!" I remember there were shots of Yoda. We're like, "Oh yeah, Star Wars!" Going down the road of the 4 or 5 of us there.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, and then the kid behind us, Spider-Man. And then he had a bag of Cheerios, and in the middle of the movie, he hung the bag in front of my face because he was sitting behind me, right? So, I got Cheerios in my face. That kid is 37 years old now.
What?
It's so long.
How do you get older than us?
I don't know. Okay, he's 29 years old.
All right, well, we'll bring this round to a close, but Mike, you will rejoin us for another session.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. All right, well, everybody, thanks for listening, and God bless, my friends. Take care.